Hey there. Today we're going to talk about mayonnaise. It's a simple thing to make in your own kitchen, and I'm going to show you how. But first of all, some scientific principles, because mayonnaise is essentially a science project. What you're trying to do is break down the fat molecules in the egg yolk and have them suspend the oil, because the oil in the regular oil that we're using, this is avocado oil, and the fat molecules never really blend, but they bind, and that's what creates the emulsion. So I'm gonna show you how to do it in the food processor. You just take the one egg yolk, add it to the food processor. I'm gonna give it about a teaspoon, not quite, of Dijon mustard, and a little squeeze of lemon juice. And I'm just starting with pulsing. And I want it to get to a creamy yellow color, not this dark, bright yellow-orange color. So I'm just gonna let that go a little bit longer. That really helps to break down the egg yolk so that it can bind better with the oil. Really good. I'll show you the color. You can see how it's kind of a lighter creamy yellow now. And now with the machine running, I'm going to add the oil in a slow stream. So very slowly, just drizzling it right through the top while it's running, little at a time. You can see that's just a really skinny stream. And I'm waiting for it to start getting thick and creamy. And I'll stop for a minute to give it a chance to start to bind. And then I'll keep adding. And when you get it right, it's like magic. Now what happens typically if this breaks, which is when it starts to look scrambled, is it because you put too much oil or too fast and the molecules didn't have a chance to attack. It's really looking good. And it's done. And it's thick and rich and so delish. Divide this into different containers and flavor them each separately, or keep it just like this because it's so good. Okay, great. I'll be back with how to do it with an immersion blender next. Okay, now we're going to do with the immersion blender. Same ingredients as with the food processor. About a half teaspoon of mustard, and you can see it's really precise, right? The egg yolk. I also want to point out, I have a small towel under this cup to keep it from sliding around because I only have two hands and one hand cannot hold this and the other hand hold the stick blender, and then I need a third hand to add the oil. So this will hopefully hold it still. So as I'm holding the immersion blender, I can pour the oil in with the other hand. Just thought I'd point that out. And again, about a half a lemon. And now I'm just gonna blend it, just like I did in the food processor, starting on low, for it to be that nice creamy yellow, almost even thickening a bit on its own before I start to add the oil. And I can turn the speed up a little bit. So now this has gotten nice and light yellow. You can see the color there. And I think it's ready to add the oil. Again, very slow stream. I know I've seen other people pour it all in and pull the stick blender up through it and it magically turns to mayonnaise. I have not tried that technique. Feel free to do that, but I know this works for me. I've been making mayonnaise for 30 years and this is the one that works the best. So I'm sharing what I know. So I have a half a cup of oil. It's avocado oil. I'm just gonna stream it in very slowly, just like I did in the food processor. And if it looks like there's a little bit of an oil slick on the top, stop pouring in oil, let it blend in, and then keep going. This is getting thick already. So I'm just gonna slowly continue to stream this in. Just gonna make sure we get the rest of this oil in. That's all the oil. Making sure it's completely mixed. And it's done. So those are two methods with essentially the same method, but two different types of tools to make amazingly thick, rich, delicious mayonnaise at home with a couple of dollars worth of ingredients. So give it a try and let me know how it goes.